Homeschooling came to me. I was in college and I had a younger brother and sister, and their best friends were homeschooled. And I thought it was fascinating when we would go visit and the lifestyle they led. They got to travel. The mom and dad were both there during the day. So their situation was a little unusual because the dad worked from home. So it was just this family dynamic that was so intriguing to me. And these children were learning about fascinating things. And so I just started looking into it more and more. And then as my family began through adoption, my son had some processing issues, and it just was the perfect fit for us. And that led us into, 30 years. My baby is now a college sophomore. So we got almost 30 years in of homeschooling, which
It's
is
amazing.
crazy to think about. Yeah.
Well, so what kept you homeschooling through all of those years, adoptions and hardships and everything else? What was the thing that kept you homeschooling? Because it would have been easy to put your kids in school.
Yeah, and we had different, every year looked different. Some years my kids did participate in hybrids and co-ops, and other years they were fully at home. I think a couple of things. Number one, I had the flexibility to look one year at a time. I didn't try to look 30 years down the road when I started this. I thought we're going to commit to this one year. We're going to see what the children need here. And it just got confirmed every year that this was the right thing for my children. Was it a perfect journey? It wasn't. And some of my kids look back and thought, and they say to me, "I wonder what public school would have been like." And I'm like, "I don't know. I wonder what it would have been for you." But they all are thankful for the experience they had, and I am too, as imperfect as it was.
So tell us a little bit about your interest in the power of play. For a long time, play was disregarded as really academically useless for kids. And I can remember I was a new homeschooling mom in my school district for some reason, because we had gotten off to a rocky start with each other when we used to have to go through the school districts to homeschool, invited me to come hear David Tuff speak. David Elkind from Tufts
Kind.
University at the time,
Mhm.
come speak to the teachers in the district about the power of play. And it really rocked my world and changed the way that I viewed the importance of childhood and play and
Mm.
everything else. And then, if you know Jenny Urich, and she's one of my close dear friends, you have to be involved, in the power of play and being
Yeah.
outside. But what was your journey into that? Was that something you just intrinsically knew, or
So I was very fortunate to that I did have a gift that, or maybe it was, I don't know what it was. My husband said I have a smell that only young children can get because everywhere I'd go, I'm drawn to children. So that is definitely how God wired me. But I studied child development in college. I was real fortunate that that was my degree, was child development, and I learned about the power of play. So I didn't study early childhood is more taught in the school system, but child development is really brain development. And so when you study the brain and how the brain learns best in the early years, you really can't look at that without looking at how play impacts it. And it really is the best way. So, my career was I was an administrator of preschools and child development centers. And I had the privilege to go out to California and meet a lady named Bev Boss. And it was in California. Everything was wild at the time. I had never seen children play. It almost looked feral. It really did. They were in the mud, they got permission to have the water hose, they had paint, they were changing their clothes. It was no big deal if they got dirty, they just went and changed their clothes, no one got onto them, and it was so eye-opening, Zan, and I was like, "This is childhood." Like, this is what I remember going to my grandmother's house and climbing the big red hill, the clay hill, and just getting filthy from head to toes and the head to toe and the imagination that happened when we were playing on that hill. This was childhood. And so, yes, it started my journey in college. And then as I became a mom, it's just how I mothered naturally. So it was, the neighborhood kids would come over. Our home was set up that way. My kids had access to sensory and art. And so it's just how our academics were. They were through play and through curiosity. And that's how we continue to homeschool.